just moved back to BC after spending 7 years living in England, where I was doing grad school. And my research topic was the psychology of magic. Because there's actually a really deep connection between magic and psychology. They're both about understanding the mind well enough that you can run experiments on it, manipulate it, and try and figure out how it works. So in my field of cognitive psychology, we're interested in studying how the mind works. And one useful way of doing that is using the studying of cognitive illusions. These are errors that the brain makes in perception, memory, decision-making, reasoning, and then it actually covers up the evidence that it ever made these errors. So we're never really aware that our brain is making stuff up. And it's really unnerving to learn that your brain is lying to you and that you can't trust your own mind. But the fact that we make these cognitive illusions allows magic tricks to work. So as a magician, I like studying the magic theory. There's this whole literature that magicians have written parallel to scientific psychological research about how the mind works. They've discovered many of the same principles that psychologists started studying hundreds of years after magicians wrote about them. So you can mine that literature to study new principles that no one has discovered yet. But my specific area of research, the one that I started my PhD thesis on, was misdirection, which is a set of techniques that magicians use to manipulate your attention. And probably the best way to demonstrate what I mean by that is with a magic trick. All you need to do is keep your eye on the cards. And actually, as I see some of you have been drinking, we'll just use a few. Can everyone see these?
Yes.
Ace, 2, 3, and 4 of clubs. If you're sitting by the back wall, that's your own fault. And if you're paying attention to the cards and not to my face or my voice, you'd be able to tell me which card I just turned face up. Was anyone paying attention? Shout it out if you know. No idea? It's actually the 2. See, what happens is I start talking, and you look at my face. And that lets me do the dirty work down here. Magicians call this misdirecting your attention, because one of the principles of cognitive psychology is that attention is a limited resource. You can't allocate it to more than one thing at one time. And if you're paying attention to my face, you're not paying attention to the cards. The 2 is now changed to a 3. Don't look away from the cards. Now, this specific type of misdirection of your attention is called social attention. And it is relying on something that we all use every day when interacting with each other, called social cues. So there's this area of cognitive psychology that's interested in how people tell each other who to pay attention to when they're interacting with each other. And even though I told you not to look away from the cards, you're looking right at my face. No, it's too late now. It's changed to a 4. I am making this tricky by cheating, so we'll make it easier. Which card is face up now?
Ace.
You're only a quarter right. They're all face up. Here's the thing about misdirection. It relies on the fact that attention is limited. You can only pay attention to one thing at one time. You've been paying attention to the faces of the cards. Does anyone remember what color the backs were?
Blue. Red.
Are you sure? Thank you very much.